now to our very first speaker, we are delighted to welcome Marco Ginanneschi, PhD, who is a strategist, trend analyst and futurist. Marco joins us from Italy and he specializes in food and tourism. And through Finanza Futura, a consulting company based in Florence, he provides technical advice and strategic guidance to institutions, trade associations and industrial companies. And as an independent researcher, he has authored several scientific articles published by major economics and management journals. Welcome, Marco Folce. Welcome to Ireland.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And let me thank first Jane Walsh for inviting me here to talk today about healthy food trends from a very special point of view, which is transdisciplinarity. So I'm going to talk a different language from usual, let's say. So can I start sharing my presentation?
Yes, please. Fire ahead.
Okay, I think you see it,
yes,
John.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I hand over to you now, Marco. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I will skip the index and just get to the start of this presentation. I will show you a chart here. It is a network of nodes. And this chart has been designed according to Tony Buzan method for designing mind maps. In this map, you have a lot of elements and connections. Connections means easily said, action and retroaction, action and feedbacks. My question to you is, where is food inside this map? You could say, for example, that food is where the node of nutrients is. Nutrients are the basic element, the very important element for life and also for mankind. So you could put a red circle here around nutrients. But you could also have a larger view and include in your cycle food production, farming, distribution, processing, legislation, and of course, animals, plants, and fungi. Or you could even have a larger perspective and include, beyond food production, include also the environment, the relationship to the environment. So the impact of food on the environment and vice versa, the impact of the environment and pollution on food. And in the middle, you find also the impact on human health. But you could have even a larger perspective, which is here drawn with a green circle. And this cycle is including everything. So it is including also the upper part of this chart, which is the social space. So not only the production environment, but also the social space. Now, this chart was inspired to me by a sociologist called Poulain, who defined the food social space, and by an anthropologist called Ingold, very famous, Tim Ingold, who defined the ecological space. Now, you can use this chart to visualize the most important European strategy about food, the so-called farm to fork strategy, adopted by the European Union in May 2020. Here is the strategy visualized with this chart. And you have here also the color keys on the left side. On the right part of this chart, in green, you have this food production that I've already described to you. And on the left side, below, so at the bottom, you have these yellow nodes. These yellow nodes is the environment and the impact of food production on the environment. All this is inside the farm to fork strategy. Now, it is evident what is missing inside the European strategy for food, addressing the future of food for the next 5 years. It is the social space, and it is in the upper part left. Just a few lines again on this very important document of the European Union called Farm to Fork. It is a 14 pages document that I suggest everybody, every citizen to read. It is called a Farm to Fork strategy for a fair, healthy, and environmentally friendly food system. So the name already tells a lot. It has got several merits. First of all, it considers food as a system. So it is a network of connections. And this is very important. It considers the planet, mankind, it considers nature, and health of humankind, of course. It stresses a lot the link with the environment, because the document is mostly about food sustainability. So circular economy, and so on. It includes the question of people's health, as I said before, but it has got several limitations. So the first one, it has got an approach, a multidisciplinary approach, but not a transdisciplinary approach. It focuses on economics and nutrition science, and it puts all the faith in the market that is in the supply and demand mechanism to solve all problems. Now, I'm going to fill the gap, putting inside also some elements from the social space, which was a bit neglected in this European document. The first lesson I'm going to draw in is from history and archaeology. Healthy food can be considered as a luxury. Let's see. Think for an instant about the appeal of healthy products. According to the Farm to Fork strategy, consumers want food that is fresh, less processed, short chain, organic, and sustainably sourced. Now, personally, I could add, for example, free-range animals and wild fish catched in clean water, for example. I could add personally natural products, even though it is very difficult to define what natural is. But anyway, all these aspirations, also my aspirations, look like a luxury dream. The dream of something that it's difficult to reach, difficult to get, very expensive, or even vanishing. Humanity has had other culinary dreams in the past. Now, okay, I can imagine this because I don't see this box, but anyway, honey at the time of Pharaoh's Egypt, wheat bread at the time of the Old Kingdom of Israel, game during the Renaissance, and white bread in Europe after the Second World War. All these products were dreams for normal people. So they wanted it, but they couldn't get them enough. So from archaeology, we must keep in mind that luxury goods are meant for the few and not for the mass. And they appear only in societies which are structured in social classes. Now, I will make an example of luxury food that nobody has in mind normally. I'm talking about eggs. So according to the European Union, there are 4 classes of eggs according to the breeding of hens. You have eggs from cages, from barn, free range, and organic. But on the top of these 4 classes, you can put other qualities like antibiotic-free, X-large size, short chain production. Of course, all these quality increase the price of eggs. I've checked a pack of 6 eggs in a supermarket in Florence last September, And I found out that in this supermarket, the lowest price was 0.99 euro, okay, less than 1 euro. The highest price was for a 6-pack of organic eggs, and the price was 2.5 euro. It is a huge difference. All these qualities have a cost and contribute to the final price of the product, as well as to our perception of its healthiness. Price makes high category eggs exclusive, like luxury products. On the right side, you see the evolution of the eggs price according to the European Union, and these data are from March 31st, so very updated. It is a report on the price of eggs in the website of the European Community, and you see that on average, the price of eggs in the last 2 years, the pandemic years, was comprised between 120 and 140 euro per 100 kilo of eggs. And from January to March, this price went up to 178 euro per 100 kilo of eggs. So it's a another huge increase. Who is gonna pay for this increase? Of course, someone has not got the money, and these are low-income consumers. These consumers will start to consider, in general, eggs something very expensive and luxury, and not even considering the top quality that I described before. Now I will fill in our broader picture also lessons from sociology. Sociology says that healthy food can be a fashion. Healthy foods do express status. They can be an object of desire, a prerequisite of to fashionability. Farm to fork strategy seems to interpret healthy foods as a fashion, trying to strengthen their appeal on consumers and to make them a mass product, something that happened in the past for coffee, chocolate, and tea, for example. This presumption, however, could be wrong. In fact, fashion implies imitation, but also distinction, access for some, exclusion for others. Moreover, the concept of healthy food is not a steady one. It changes continuously, acquiring new meanings. It is possible to argue with a sociologist like Pierre Bourdieu that today's working class, composed by unemployed, underemployed, underpaid, and neat, could just be cut off, not only from healthy food, but also from healthy lifestyles. Here on the right, you have a picture of Pierre Bourdieu, who died in the year 2000. Now we should look also to healthy food from the economic point of view. And, you know, there is this traditional economics, which is utilitarian economics. And the European Commission believes a lot in this utilitarian economics. In economics and other social sciences, preference is the order that the person gives to alternatives based on their relative utility. According to traditional utilitarian economics, persons are expected to act in their best interest, that is, rationally. However, neuromarketing psychology suggests that consumers are far from being rational, have a limited capacity to process information, make often choices by following mental shortcuts, heuristics, as they have been called by Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist who won the Nobel Prize, and that is pictured on the right side here in the slide. The choice between healthy food and junk food, for example, can be oriented by marketing, exploiting heuristics, or by consumers' extra-rational motivation, sociological or psychological. So, in the end, traditional utilitarian economics very often doesn't work for food. Conclusions. Pantrophy. What is pantrophy? Pantrophy, you see a graphical representation on the right side is looking at food from many different points of view according to several disciplines. It is also a holistic and systemic approach to complex issues in food studies based on transdisciplinarity. This methodology has already been experimented in the study of current and future trends in the food sector and to study the role of traditional foods in Italy. Evidence, in our case, of healthy food trends. Evidence suggests that consumers are looking for healthy food. Their interest will grow strongly in the next decade. However, these products may not be affordable for everybody. And finally, in terms of policy, legislators could intervene to increase the healthiness of food in general. In terms of strategy, instead, producers offering healthy but also affordable foods will be in the best position to exploit the new trend. Thank you very much for listening to me, to my bad English. And here you have my recent research activities and publications, someone coming out being published just now. Thank you very much.